Let's talk mosquitoes and mosquito spraying. This is Kate Bergeron from the Branch Herald with Community News. Farmers Branch residents were not happy to find out that the city was cutting mosquito spraying from the budget for the 24-25 year. In reality, they were reducing their budget, not cutting out spraying entirely. But the issue made me ask the question, what are best practices when it comes to mosquito control, both on a municipal level and on the individual level? So I went looking. I looked at the Environmental Protection Agency's website, the Centers for Disease Control website, Texas A&M University's website, Dallas County Health and Human Services, who traps and tests mosquitoes for West Nile virus in Farmers Branch, as well as several private pest control companies to find out what they said. It's a little surprising, maybe not, to find out that there are 85 different species of mosquitoes in Texas, and about 40 of those species live in Dallas County. Some mosquitoes can travel up to 40 or 50 miles for what they call a blood meal. But most mosquitoes, and the ones that are actually of most concern for us when it comes to diseases, only are willing to go a block or two. And some of them prefer our houses. In fact, the mosquito in Dallas County, I believe it's called the southern house mosquito, actually prefers to live in our houses with us, though birds are its main food source. It doesn't mind chewing on us humans, and it is the mosquito that causes the most West Nile virus here in Dallas County. There are other mosquitoes that do spread West Nile, but also dengue, Zika, and chikungunya. I think I pronounced that correctly. Here in Dallas, here in Texas. Hopefully we haven't actually had many of those cases at all in Texas or in Dallas County. Mainly West Nile virus is the health concern here in Dallas. However, heartworms is also a pretty big concern in our dogs, so we need to be aware of that as well. Mosquitoes cause illnesses both in humans and in our pets. Danielle Summers, the director of Community Services, said that the city's plan is to move from a reactive spraying techniques for controlling mosquitoes after a mosquito has tested positive for West Nile, and moving from that to a proactive stance, meaning putting dunks, which contain a bacteria that kills mosquito larvae, in stagnant pools of water. So I looked that information up, and while neither the CDC or the EPA talk about best practices for mosquito control, they do talk about integrated pest control. And the reason they talk about that is because they don't necessarily want to completely eradicate mosquitoes, because it is an important part of the food chain, and a lot of birds and insects and other animals need them and the larvae in order to survive. But they do want to keep the population down so that way we don't get sick. So integrated pest management is what they are aiming at. And the CDC and EPA have teamed up in particular to work on this in Puerto Rico. And so a lot of their information is targeted to residents and municipalities there. But we can use the same information to help us here. Their top recommendation is to remove mosquito habitat. They even included filling low areas where water stagnates with soil, and draining pools, tires, buckets, planted potters that hold water. And this one will surprise you. but maybe Coke cans, plastic bottles. Our litter can become breeding pools for mosquitoes. Mosquitoes don't need much water. Even a teaspoon of water a mosquito can produce a lot of eggs and larvae and adult mosquitoes. If you did not know, only the female mosquitoes feed on blood. Male mosquitoes feed on plant juices. So when you're getting bitten, that's a female. So what else can we do? Empty all stagnant water. Another thing that we can do is when we have places where we can't empty items on a regular basis, the City of Farmers Branch does give us dunks. These are round pods, I guess we could call them, that have a bacteria in them that kill mosquito larvae. And if mosquito larvae are killed, then we don't have adult mosquitoes flying around biting us. Another item that actually I saw on both the CDC and EPA website are mosquito traps. You can buy commercial traps on Amazon or in other places, but I've seen homemade traps on gardening websites using a 5-gallon bucket of water and putting a dunk in it. I don't know how effective those are, but that's another idea that we could do. And traps were one of the top methods for controlling mosquito populations. So that the city is going to be most concerned with things like the ditches, the alleys, the creeks where water stagnates. Danielle Summers said that they are on the lookout and have been inventorying all of those spots in the city and making sure that those stay dry. She said that residents can keep an eye on any tires, make sure those are emptied. If you have any fountains with stagnant water and bird baths, make sure those get emptied once a week or have dunks in them. If there's litter about, plastic bottles, aluminum, pick it up, put it in the trash, recycle it. We don't need to have little tiny spots of water. There are also ways to treat yards because water does accumulate on plants and trees where mosquitoes can lay their eggs. Irrigation systems and gutters are also issues for, and French drains. French drains were another one. So let's make sure that those are all emptied or have the BTI, which are the dunks. You can get those in dunks or granules, but the city provides the dunks to prevent mosquitoes. From a city standpoint, Dallas County is going to be continuing monitoring Farmers Branch for West Nile. And if there is a mosquito that is found with West Nile, the city is still going to spray to kill mosquitoes in that area so it doesn't spread. But Danielle Summers said that her hope is that if we work hard and the city works hard to prevent mosquitoes, that we don't even have any that show up as positive. But that is still a possibility. Hopefully this helps you decide what you need to do as far as your own backyard and area. Check your containers for potted plants and make sure that those get dumped out and dried out. I know that irrigation is important for plants, especially in the Texas heat, but if we all work together, maybe we can get this mosquito population down. Have a great day and thank you. If you have any more questions, let me know. And also, you can visit branchherald.com for more information on everything else that's going on in Farmers Branch.